Hello, successful and soon to be successful traders. Chris Capri here, SecondSkiesForex.com. Welcome to the first lesson in your trading mindset section. So this is on the brain, the negativity bias, and why you struggle to make money trading. This is the first lesson in your trading mindset for a reason, and that's because there is something incredibly fundamental about this negativity bias and what we're going to be talking about as to how it interferes with your trading. It's something that is this major obstacle that you're not just going to have to overcome for trading, but for life as well if you really want to succeed, move forward, evolve, and grow. Now, success in trading is generally reliant upon three major skills. There are the technical skills, in this case it's price action. There are the risk and money management skills needed, and there is the trading mindset and psychological skills to make money trading. You're going to need all three. All of them, when you look at them, they seem different in terms of form. When you look at the form of each one of them, they all seem very different, and in some sense they are. But there is one connecting thread which weaves through all of them, and that's that they're all dependent upon the brain and the mindset. Meaning you could intellectually know you need to risk, whatever X% per trade to avoid blowing up your account, to avoid having a very unfavorable risk of ruin. But for some reason, after a series of losses, you feel compelled that you have to make the money back and you load up. You could know conceptually you shouldn't be trading against such a move or chasing the market in this way. Yet compulsion takes over and you feel like, I got to get in this trade. I'm going to miss it. You push the button and you chase the trade. You could know it's important to manage your emotions to not get caught up in the last big loss, yet you can't help worrying about it happening again. So you fail to pull the trigger when you have a perfectly good setup in front of you. When we look at all these scenarios, and really all the scenarios, why we make poor trading decisions, why we fail to execute mentally, it all has to do with the brain and the mindset. You cannot separate them from any of your trading decisions. And what this means is success has to go through the brain and mindset. If you want to make money trading, it's going to have to go through that. There is no way around it. Just as the Borg from Star Trek say, resistance is futile. I'm willing to bet many of you have experienced this. You've tried it your way. You've tried all the ways that you thought, could work, would work, should work, may work. You tried everything your way, and it hasn't. The good thing for you is success can be wired into the brain. And the arrogant thing is there are formulas for this. There are strategies. There are methods to create this. This should seem intuitive. For example, try drinking every day, doing lots of drugs, getting no sleep for weeks on end, eating shitty food or not eating at all, sitting on the couch all day, never exercise, never go out for a walk or grab some sunshine, never study, never train, never practice. Try all that and let me know how it goes. You know that recipe will not work. Y'all know this isn't the formula for success in trading, right? I'm guessing you do. You should. And what it should also point to intuitively is while there are things we can do to destroy our trading performance, there are specific things we can do to improve it. It's the fundamental and underlying basis of why you're training, of why you're here, of why you practice and study, and why you work at this. Because you believe and know there are things you can do to make money trading. Hence, success is not only formulaic, but it's something that must go through the brain and mindset. There is no way around it. The problem is what's standing between you and success. there are actually several landmines and obstacles and wrong paths and so forth. But there is one really overarching obstacle in your way. You cannot ignore it. You cannot deny it or pretend it doesn't exist. It is in your brain and body whether you like it or not. And it is something that will have to be unwired or rewired for you to succeed in trading. To understand why trading is so hard. Why it feels like you don't have what it takes. Why you continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, even though you know you shouldn't. Why do your natural instincts and impulses cause problems for your trading? These are things that every trader is going to have to explore, face, and transform. And it boils down to one thing. It boils down to us having this negativity bias, which must be both understood and unwound if you want to trade profitably. It is hardwired into us. It's in our brains, it's in our bodies, it's in our nervous systems, it's a part of our species. That's why trading is so damn hard. Hence, it is crucial for understanding your trading mindset, what this negativity bias is and how it affects you. Luckily, I've already done 3 very in-depth pieces on this that I spent hours and hours on. I'd suggest going through all of them to understand, and really understand them inside and out so you can really feel the depth of how critical this is and see all the different ways that it affects you when you have to make decisions in real time. So what are these 3 pieces? This is the first one. It's why the self-image and comfort zone determine your success in trading. And I actually spend the first portion of it explaining the basis behind this negativity bias. You can see right there, how it affects you, all these different things. And so this is it's not only an amazing article. This was actually part of a presentation I did in Toronto. And they wanted access to the slides, and I didn't want to just give that to them, and I wanted to take that and turn that into a piece, and this is the piece on that. And so not only is it an amazing piece, but also visually it's quite stunning. It's just incredibly well done. So this is the first one that kind of breaks down the evolutionary perspective of why and the history behind why you, me, all of us have this negativity bias. Why is it here? Why is it in our brains? Why is it affecting us? How does it come into my trading and affect it and kind of just throw everything off course? The second one is building a better brain. This was a message I did at the end of the year. It's a nice audio kind of podcast clip where I talk about this. I talk about your brain. I kind of get a little more in depth about how the brain works on all these different levels, and particularly diving into, some methods you can use to overcome this negativity bias. And the last one is successful forex trading, why you don't have what it takes. What I'm pointing to here is I'm subtly hinting to, look, you have this negativity bias, and as long as that thing is dominant in you, you will always struggle. You will always have to, fight against it. It's kind of like, running into the wind, swimming upstream, and climbing uphill at the same time. It's all those things in once. And so because of that, there is this experience of, wow, maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe some of you have asked this question. And that's a legitimate question, because there's a part of you that's sensing, maybe I don't. And it's true. If you are sensing only the negativity bias, then it's true you don't have what it takes. The great thing is you can unwind that. And so I talk about this in this article, and it really unpack it on a much more thorough level. So these 3 would be more than sufficient enough to give you a pretty advanced perspective to understand, all the different bases of this negativity bias and how it affects you, why it affects you, what's the history, and things you can do to unwind it. So, you know, that should, in terms of training, in terms of material, I feel that that is beyond sufficient enough. And there are links to those articles below this video here, so you can just go directly to them. If you are in the ATM course, the Advanced Traders Mindset course, you've had plenty of exposure to this beyond these posts, and you've been given dozens and dozens of methods of how to transform that. In fact, many of you have probably, if not fully unwound it, you've already unwound major portions of this in the ATM course. You've seen it, you've experienced it, and you're breaking free from this kind of thing that has had a hold of you for so long. You're getting past this. For those of you who are not part of the ATM course, that's what these posts are for. They're to help you understand it, so you can kind of not only understand it conceptually, but you can have actual practices to transform it. So you can have the direct experience of what it is to trade beyond this. Also, at the end of the Building a Better Brain post, I share a specific practice, how to reduce this negativity bias. So make sure to listen to that post all the way through, and then it'll help you understand the practice I share at the end, so it can help you reduce the negativity bias and build one that helps you create a winning mindset, which you're going to need to make money trading. In reality, the very goal of the trading mindset section is, there are many things that it's trying to do, and it's designed to kind of really map out all the different things you're going to need to work on, or map out many things that you are going to need to work on, and give you methods and practices so you can work on these things. Help build your strengths, correct weaknesses, how to mentally prepare. But one crucial thing in some of the practices, particularly in the meditation practice, is to reduce, unwind, and transform this negativity bias. Thus, make sure to work diligently with the methods in this section, because transforming this negativity bias is absolutely crucial to your success, not only in trading, but in life as well. It will hold you back as long as it's there. It will hold you back. It will reduce your upward potential. It will reduce your chance to make more profitable trading decisions. It will reduce your chance to, really go to the next level in your work, in your business, in your life. It is one of the most fundamental things that I had to transform, because not only did I come with this, I seem to have developed throughout the first, few decades of my life, a very strong negativity bias. And so the first thing for me was just understanding that it was there, that it was real, how and why it was there. But then it was spending a lot of time to unwind it. And I can't even, if you were to hear the quotes or the thoughts that went through my head before I had unwound this versus the ones that you hear now, it's night and day. It's not even the same person. They're two completely different people. And I'm willing to bet if we had, little headsets that could really scan neural activity and EEG activity and, even structure of your brains, if we were to take a bunch of people and say, look, okay, and we were able to demonstrate they have very strong negativity biases, and then give them these practices to work on them, you would see different brains by the time they're done with these practices after many weeks, maybe months. But you would see a different brain. Every one of them would have a different brain. And you'll learn in these posts how the negativity bias affects your health, your immune system, the thoughts that go through your heads, whether you get constantly triggered by fight or kind of thrown into fight or flight responses where you're out of your prefrontal cortex, where you can't access your prefrontal cortex. There's so many negative or harmful, effects just by this negativity bias. There are moments where it's useful, but those moments are few and far between. For every 100 times you experience this bias, I would say maybe 5%. So really, about 90 to 95 times out of 100 times in your life that you are experiencing this negativity bias, It's actually confusion. It's actually an inappropriate response. It's actually not the thing that's going to help you make money trading or build a better brain. That is why this is so crucial. Because when we boil it down, success is not only formulaic, it must go through your brain and mindset. And that's why this is the first lesson in your trading mindset section. So we can start with this, so we can go after the big kahuna right off the bat and slowly start grinding away at this, because this is probably neurologically and psychologically, this is the biggest obstacle you will come up against. And that's why we're going after it right off the bat. So with that being said, I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your questions. And what I really look forward to is seeing y'all really take on these practices and seeing y'all not only really diligently working with them, but also experiencing the differences in your life, not just in how it changes your life in an outward way, but also what your inner experience is, how your inner ecology changes. You work with this long enough, couple weeks, few weeks, you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the difference as to how your inner experience while trading, while in the rest of your life, is completely different. It's the same world around you. It's the same workspace you go to. It's the same people you relate to. It's the same family members and nuclear family and friends and everything. But because of this change that you've created for yourself on the inside, you're experiencing the same things in a completely different way. And that is something that y'all have to experience, and I want you to have. Because once you clear that obstacle, it's like the thing which underpins all the other obstacles between you and making money trading. So I look forward to your comments and questions on this, and I expect to have long discussions about this. Until then, may you have, diligence and patience and spaciousness in working with these practices, because they will test you. They'll test your mettle. But I really look forward to, you having the experience of what it is like to do these things without this bias. So until then, I wish you good luck, and I will see you inside the course.